just spent some time talking about the Ukraine.
Yep.
And I will tell you, I'm glad what you just focused on, which is accountability. And I will tell you that I think it's important that, I think that the concept that Putin can win and get away with this would be a very dangerous sign, particularly not only for what Russia might do in the future in Europe, but also what China would potentially see as a green light, right? So I think it's important that Putin be defeated, but it is crucial that every dollar that is coming from the United States is accounted for. Every penny is accounted for. And it is crucial to make sure that the Europeans are stepping up. And so I like what you've just said, but Mr. Secretary, just know that we're going to continue to push and press on that. I know also that Chairman McCall has, I think, a hearing precisely on this kind of thing, which is important. So I look forward to working with you, and I know you will not be surprised if we are exceedingly aggressive to make sure that every cent is accounted for and every piece of equipment is accounted for. And so I look forward to working with you on that front. I thought that now it's totally switching to a different part of the world. The establishment of the Abraham Accords by the previous administration I thought was really important. And I support your efforts, by the way, to further expand these agreements, to deepen economic and diplomatic and security relationships, frankly, between our strongest democratic ally, Israel, and other partners in the region. What can you tell us about the administration, your efforts to expand the Abraham Accord, and also can you kind of tell us? I mentioned at the beginning of my statement about this now not an alliance, but the renewal of relationships, right? Formal relationships between Saudi Arabia and Iran and the Chinese involvement there. What can you tell us about where we are there, and give me your point of view and what you see coming forward in the next few months?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just very quickly, I really appreciate the focus that you're bringing to the expenditure of our resources in Ukraine. I couldn't agree with you more. And by the way, I think it's very important that Congress play that leading role. It actually helps helps us, for example, in going to our Ukrainian partners and saying, the folks who are actually providing the money that you need are very focused on this, and you need to remain focused on it too. So thank you for that. Second, on the Abraham Accords in the Middle East, let me just say two things. First, Abraham Accords, I could not agree with you more. We, from day one, have strongly supported them, and we are looking to do two things. We're looking to deepen them, that is to deepen the partnerships with the existing participants, and to expand, to bring in new countries. Of course, I think it's no secret that we, Israel, would hope ultimately that Saudi Arabia might be brought in to the Abraham Accords, but there are a number of other countries that we're looking at. Second, in terms of actually advancing things, one of the things we did last year was to stand up something related to it and supportive of it called the Negev Forum, where we took Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Morocco, Bahrain, Egypt, to work together to establish working groups in 6 different areas that can actually produce concrete results, concrete projects that will benefit people in all those countries. Because what's so important about this, we need to demonstrate through these accords that it's actually bringing real benefits to people. That will grow the support for them. It'll deepen it in countries, and we're already seeing it manifest itself. On the Saudi-Iran agreement, this has been something that's been in the works for several years, not just several weeks or several months. The Saudis, the Iranians have had meetings in Oman, in Iraq, going back some time. And this all goes back to, I guess, 2016, when the Saudis put to death a very prominent Shia cleric. There was an attack on the Saudi embassy in Iran. They broke off relations. So the last couple of years, they've been trying to get them back. I think what it's easiest to say, most accurate to say about China's role is not so much a facilitator, but simply a host of the final act in this. Smart diplomacy, but this was really the product of work between the two countries. Mr. Chairman, I think that first, we have to be appropriately skeptical about whether this will actually be implemented. We'll see. Iran has made agreements before that, of course, it hasn't kept. But if it is, I actually see this as a net positive, because if the result is to decrease tensions in at least part of the region, but specifically to curb Iranian behavior that we object to. For example, helping the Houthis attack Saudi Arabia with the provision of missiles, where, by the way, we have 80,000 Americans. That's actually a good thing. So we'll track this closely. We'll see if it actually gets implemented. And by the way, I don't think it undermines, for example, the interest and prospects for having, at some point, Saudi Arabia be part of the Abraham process.
And we'll continue that conversation another time, because to me, that is very concerning. The fact that, we've seen an emergence of China in a way that we hadn't seen, frankly, ever.